Okay, so here we are, and we have, this is just a couple days before Christmas, we have everybody home. This is Sam, yes, there he is. This is our oldest twin, Simon's brother, and you've seen Simon in videos before. So Sam is really good at doing sourdough, and so I potentially will call this video Sourdough with Sam. But I want to show you here, he has made some, now he'll have different names for these things that I don't know, because this is the leaven. That's not such a hard name. So we have the leaven here that he mixed up this morning, and so he's just going to kind of explain what he's going to be doing. So when he made this leaven, it's something that he you added things to it, right, over the course of time. Over how long would you say that's been?
Well, I do it every day, but
okay,
I maintained it since the summer.
Okay, so this has been maintained since the summer, but he does it every day. So then he uses a portion of this to actually create whatever bread he's going to be making.
This is the starter.
Okay, so that's the starter. So he has the leaven and the starter. Can you tell us the difference between the leaven and the starter then?
The leaven is just...
This is the leaven. Yes.
Scenery.
And this one, tell us the difference here between the leaven and the starter.
They're like the same thing. It's just this is, you basically make a bigger batch of the starter, so you can add to the dough and
okay,
the dough can rise.
Okay, that's cool.
It basically adds more flavor to the dough.
So adds more flavor to the dough, and if you ever had sourdough, there's a very distinct flavor. Now this is, what was this now, Sam?
Poolish.
So this is a poolish.
A little bit.
And you can see, isn't that is lovely. Wow, look at that. Now what do you call this when it gets those strings, like, I forget what, there's a name for that, isn't there?
I don't know.
Okay. So this is the poolish. Now what does a poolish have to do with the rest of the leaven?
Poolish is just like leaven, but it's made with instant yeast.
Okay, so this is with instant yeast. So what he's going to be creating for us, and we're going to be eating them, I believe, tomorrow morning. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. He's going to be making English muffins. So out of the sourdough, and this is really exciting. So we're going to kind of watch here what he's doing with all these leaven and the starter and the poolish. How do you spell poolish?
P-O-L-I-S-H.
Okay. So it's a very interesting word, but that's what he has here. So what are you going to be doing right now with these items?
I'm going to add the water and then mix in both of these.
Okay. So he has all this different equipment that makes sourdough baking much easier. I do some sourdough. I have a starter that Sam actually gave me. I do not have all the things that Sam has, and I have not done it nearly as often as he has. So it's always a treat when he does these things. So he's going to he's got a thermometer out and everything. So there's a lot to the sourdough baking, but in the end, it's very worth it, isn't it? He has to get the right temperature. Go ahead.
Well, the temperature of the water affects how fast the dough rises.
Okay.
So you want the dough to rise slowly enough that it ferments and develops flavor. You don't want to do it too fast. So you pick a cooler temperature to make it take longer. Warmer temperature to make it take a shorter amount of time.
So what's your goal today?
4 hours.
Okay.
I'm doing like 76 degrees.
76 degrees, so we know. And all these things, you know, it just takes practice also. Isn't that true, to really get it?
Well, for me, the important thing is getting a good starter.
Okay, so the starter is the primary thing then. Just an aside, I'm going to go pan over here. This is, oops, sorry, Sam. This is my starter up here. So I've been keeping it alive, but I have not done anything with it yet. It's been a kind of a crazy time, but my goal is to do something, but. And so we're going to watch what he uses actually. So this is his leaven, and you're going to be using all of the leaven. Okay.
Well, yeah, I would just mix the right amount. So
okay.
This is.
Okay.
You can see it floats, which
yes.
it's supposed to float before you put it. Before you add it.
Nice.
So this is a good.
Very nice. Cool. Very cool. So if it floats, that's a good indication. It's a good.
And I just know what it looks like.
Okay, yeah, by experience.
I don't have to test it.
So much of it is by experience, wouldn't you say, with sourdough bread?
Yeah.
Now this is a poolish, and how much of the poolish you put the whole thing in as well?
Yeah,
okay. Okay, so you did in the beginning. You made the right amount of these items, so that's good. Yeah. So now the poolish is going in, and that also will float, correct?
Yeah. Poolish might have been overdone a little bit.
Yeah, that was a pretty poofy poolish.
It doesn't smell too right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And that was just this morning. You put that. So how many hours has it been?
Well,
doing
the
its
poolish
thing?
only rose for like a couple hours, and then I put it in the fridge to stop the.
Yeah, because it was too much.
From rising.
Okay.
But the leaven took from 8 to almost 3.
Okay.
So,
okay.
5 hours.
So now we have the
and
leaven.
I was rising in the pre-warm environment.
Yes, that's true. It is -5 out here, but our house is quite warm, so things are doing well inside. Outside might be a different story.
No, we just mix this up.
So just with his hands, he's mixing the poolish and the leaven with the water. Wow.
It's a lot of leavening.
So is it basically you're trying to get to dissolve in there?
Yeah, I mean you just kind of. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay.
Some people don't even do this step. They just add the flour and then mix it all in, like fold it into the flour.
Okay.
That's just whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just it's really your own kind of individual way of doing things.
Yeah.
And you figure that out through a course of experience and time. Okay.
Now we mix in the flour.
Okay, so he's gonna mix in now. He's obviously the most accurate way is to weigh your ingredients. So he's going to do it at, I believe, grams. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is that the bread flour or is that the all-purpose?
All-purpose.
Okay, so you're using all-purpose flour.
650 grams.
But when you made some of these 11 and so forth, you did use some bread flour, correct?
The leaven was all-purpose.
Okay.
Both of them were all-purpose.
Okay. So you haven't used any bread flour then?
I mean, the Sourdough is bread flour.
Okay.
This, for English muffins, it's...
A little bit different?
I think it's supposed to be softer, and
okay.
I think it's just lighter.
Yeah. Okay.
All-purpose flour. Sourdough bread is more tough and hard.
Right. True. Okay, so the English muffins are going to be taking the all-purpose. So he's putting 650 grams, and we do have more all-purpose flour.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. Getting there. Woo, good job.
Now, bread flour.
Okay, so now he's getting some bread flour.
350 grams.
Keep plenty of flour in the house. That's all we do is homemade bread in here. I don't do sourdough yet, but I do other homemade bread. So now he's putting a smaller amount of the bread flour in. Do you use any wheat flour in this then at all?
No, I could.
Okay.
You could make whole wheat.
Okay.
Do anything you want.
Yeah, I guess it's like we were saying, it's individual.
Very flexible.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm just checking to make sure it's a different recipe than the bread that I use.
Okay. Okay.
Now we mix this together.
So you use your hands for everything, it looks like. It's just easier that
It's
way?
easier. But Madeline bought me a a dough hook, which I'm interested in. I'm excited to try. It'll make this, I think, easier.
Okay.
You can just like stir it like that.
Okay.
The dough hook.
Oh, that's going to be interesting, yeah. And Madeline is Sam's wife. And you do all the baking of this bread, but you both enjoy eating it, which all of us do, don't we? But she's always buying you the nice equipment to use for the baking, which is nice. So we're getting all this flour then mixed in with all of the poolish and the water and the leaven. And is it supposed to be shaggy then?
This is going to be a pretty stiff dough.
Okay.
Which means it's not going to feel very soft.
Yeah.
Here. It's not going to be shaggy. Oh, it might be a little shaggy, but it's just we got to get this mixed in so there's no dry bits of flour.
Okay. Okay.
Still some dry bits in there.
So a little bit more.
Very sticky. So I've made whole wheat bread a couple times.
Yeah.
This month, and it's much easier to mix.
Really, whole wheat is
flour
easier.
Doesn't stick to your hands.
Okay.
As much.
Interesting.
So I enjoy making that better.
Really? Okay.
Regular.
And so you've made what kinds of things? Bread. You've made bread. You've made pizza dough with it, correct?
Yeah. English muffins.
English muffins.
I want to try making baguettes.
Yes. And you said you were thinking about making some pretzels also.
Yeah. We'll see if I can just use a regular recipe of for the bread.
Okay.
Just use it to make pretzels.
That would be good. And
Worth a try.
so really you can make so many things, a variety of things with sourdough. And sourdough tends to have, people who are gluten intolerant, this is what I've heard, can actually digest sourdough.
Yeah.
Sometimes better than other, more glutinous breads.
Some people wet their hands before they mix the dough to help prevent all these
Oh,
dough sticking.
so yeah, so you...
I've tried that, I think once, but it didn't work for me.
Oh.
Maybe because my hands are so hairy.
That's possible.
Now we let it rest.
Okay, so so you don't put any of the, which is this one, any of the starter in right now.
The starter is already in there.
Okay, so
it was
this.
in 11.
Okay, so the starter was in 11, and so you brought this out just because to show us.
Show you what the
Okay,
starter is.
perfect. So the starter is what basically starts the whole thing. That makes total sense, doesn't it? Awesome. So this is a starter which he will continue to keep going for however long, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So the purpose of resting now is to let the flour absorb the water.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll add the salt.
Okay.
And then starts the bulk fermentation.
Okay, so bulk fermentation is after
Where it
you...
develops the flavor and it develops air.
Okay, that's good. So how long will it rest, did you say?
40 minutes.
40 minutes for resting, and then the next stage.
Yep.
Cool. We'll be back. Okay, so we are back. It's been 40 minutes since we rested your dough. So here it is. And the point of that, like you said, was to get it to absorb the rest of the flour, correct?
Well, flour is absorbing the rest of the liquid.
Right. That's probably a better way to say it. Okay, so now what's happening?
The scale doesn't like it. It's too heavy. Okay, now we're adding salt.
Okay.
And doing the first turn.
Okay.
That's what they're called.
So the
You
first
You
turn.
don't need the dough, you just turn it.
Okay, so that's one of the things that is different about sourdough is you don't necessarily need it, you turn it. So he's putting the salt in, he's just weighing this out. There's a lot of salt, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not really, if you think about how much dough there is.
Like, it's true, it's a lot of dough. Okay, so now we're going to see what he's doing. So now he's using his hands again and doing the turning.
It is stiff,
Okay.
but the recipe said it would be, so I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
So yeah, you just fold it over itself,
Okay.
just like that.
So you're just mixing, you're turning it because you're mixing in the salt essentially, correct? So they're really the only ingredients in a sourdough bread.
And then you think it's called pincer method.
Okay.
Like
Pincer. Okay. Okay. Cool.
It helps to incorporate ingredients that you have.
So far in this recipe, there's flour, salt, and water, basically.
Yeah.
So cool. Sourdough is an amazing thing. It really is. So now once you get this incorporated,
Sure.
what's the next thing?
And then you wait.
And this the one where you're waiting till overnight?
Apparently I have dry pocket of flour.
Oh, dry pocket of flour. Oopsie.
No, first we're gonna let it rest for 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, okay. So this rest is going to be longer. The next one.
And then,
Okay.
And then after that we shape it, and then we let it rest overnight
Okay.
in the refrigerator. And in the morning, it's ready for making English muffins.
Mmm. Very exciting. And how many will this make, do you think? How many English muffins?
I think I said 16.
16?
Quite a few.
Yeah. And we're thinking of making some like egg sausage muffins with it. So we'll see how, what happens in the morning.
I'm going to measure the temperature.
Okay.
We want to get this, we want it to rise fast enough.
Okay.
So, it says it's only at, it's like 72 degrees.
Okay. Is that good?
I'm going to increase the temperature a little bit.
Okay.
Well, the easiest way to do it is to put it in the oven with a pot of boiling water, but we're going to be making
Okay.
gingerbread. So
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'll just put it in the stove room.
Okay.
In a warm room.
So he's talking about over here we have a wood stove in there in that room next door. So it'll be warm there, so that would help. Awesome.
Just so the fall fermentation doesn't take all day.
Right. Okay. All right. So that sounds like a plan. So, so I guess we'll say goodbye for now because it's really what we're going to be doing is just getting it resting for 3 or 4 hours. That's about all we can do. But we'll see you for our next step. Okay. So Sam, what are we doing now?
Oh, now we're spreading out the dough because, well, you see,
Yes.
it looks like it's risen pretty well. You see a lot of air.
Yes.
So now we're just gonna.
So what did you do over here on this sheet?
Oh, I just floured it really well.
Okay, so a towel on top of a cookie sheet with
Yeah.
with a rim with edges, correct?
Yeah.
And then floured it. Now you're gonna put the dough on there.
I'm gonna spread it out.
Okay.
See how it's going.
Okay.
Try to be gentle with it.
Okay.
You don't
So-
lose all the air.
So basically, you're trying to be gentle, so you really want the air to remain in it. Wow, is that a monster?
That's pretty large. I remember being this large last time. But, now we're gonna spread it out.
You had more of an active dough than maybe this time.
Somehow.
Okay, so you're gonna spread it out with what do you need to
Well,
spread it
I
out?
need to get some more flour.
Okay.
We're spreading it. Get some rice flour too.
Okay, so this is all purpose you're using now, but you said something about rice flour. What's the rice flour going to be for?
Rice flour is just good for making
Oops,
sure
excuse
things
me.
don't stick.
Okay. Okay, so you mix some rice flour with,
together.
okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put this on top.
Oh, you sprinkle it on top of the dough ball.
And then we're gonna
Okay.
spread it out real
Or
good.
dough blob, I guess.
Easier to see. I can see. I'm just gonna try to spread this out.
So you're trying to spread it all the way,
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna
a
try
total
to-
rectangle,
well,
like
it's supposed
fluff?
to be like an inch thick.
Okay,
So, I mean, we'll see.
okay.
If I can do. Recipe that evenness is more important than the actual thickness.
Okay.
Trying to make them all even so that they cook evenly.
Right.
Almost there. Just trying to get it all spread out nice and even.
It's looking pretty good.
I feel like I did the best I could.
Right.
It's kinda hard,
Pretty even.
Hard to do.
Yeah.
It's not very flexible. But yeah, that's probably about as good as it's gonna get.
Okay.
And then cover this with a towel, another towel.
Okay. Just a dry towel, not a.
Well, you should probably dust the top again.
Okay.
And then, yeah, just a dry towel. And then stick it in the fridge.
Okay.
The towel on top is just to prevent it from drying out.
Right.
Cover it up.
Okay.
And into the fridge. We'll have to make room.
Into the fridge. Yeah, we got to make room because when we have a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff in the fridge. Okay, so there it is in the fridge.
And we wait
Until the next step, which is in the morning?
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so Sam, what are you doing right here? This is in the morning. We're getting ready to make our breakfast. So what's happening right here in the pan?
I'm going to clarify some butter.
Okay, so how do you clarify butter?
I'm just going to melt it and then pour it through a fine sieve.
Okay. And that takes out the solids.
Not
It's
solids,
okay.
So you don't scorch. You can use it at a higher temperature.
Okay.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So it's going to clarify in the butter, and this is what we're going to be using to bake, or basically fry, the English muffins. This cast iron pizza pan. We're using it as a skillet. So this will be fun when we get to that point where we have a few minutes before you start that. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you filming?
Yeah. So Sam's trying to get the temperature right on the griddle so that it's cooks through but not fast. That's always a very difficult task to do, especially when you have an electric stove. Of course, gas is much easier. We don't have gas.
I'll make it even on the bottom here.
Okay, so clarified butter. And it gets a little brown or not on there. Probably not so much.
It'll be a little brown.
Okay, so now come over here to the dough.
Cut the dough out.
Okay.
Let me try to.
And this is, at what size would you say round that is? What diameter?
This is 3.5 inches.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like 3 inches.
Okay, so that's a little bit bigger than your recipe calls for, but it still works.
It's okay. Gotta really press it hard.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not cutting through the.
Well, it's okay. I have lots of those. Yeah, if you gotta press hard, you gotta press
You
hard.
have to be careful taking it off.
Okay.
Because you want them to maintain their shape. Put this one in the middle.
Ooh, nice. Sizzling.
They are nice and poofy.
Ooh, that's good.
So that's good. That means there's a lot of air in them.
Good. Ooh, that's a really nice one right there.
And they should puff up a couple inches.
Okay.
Or they'll puff up an inch.
Yeah.
Maybe an inch.
They'll get an inch higher than they currently are, is the hope.
Yeah. That's
But it smells good. More like butter.
trying to get as close to the other ones as possible because I can't re-roll this stuff.
Oh yes, of course.
I think what we can do afterwards is, I've done this before, you just melt butter in a pan and then you just add little bits of this dough.
Oh.
And then you make a mixture of cinnamon and sugar. So you cook the dough
Oh
in the butter,
boy.
take it out, and then coat it in cinnamon and sugar. It's like
So,
little treats.
yeah, little treats. That's awesome.
It's a good way to use up extra dough.
Yeah. And a delicious way to do it as well.
And we wait for the bottom to get golden brown, and then we flip them.
Okay. Okay, so now you're going to flip them over because
Well,
they
the
have...
ones that are ready.
Okay. Ooh, that's a beautiful
And
thing.
then you're supposed to just kind of flatten it a little bit.
Okay.
See if this one's good.
Nice.
Not as pretty, but it's alright.
The butter didn't go in the middle as much, or? What's happening?
Well, it looks like they're almost done.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
getting golden brown at the bottom. Probably could have pressed them a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
That one's
And where it was doughy not long ago in the middle, now it's suddenly like airy. It's weird how quickly that went.
I'm gonna say it's done.
Okay.
You need to put more butter in the middle. Nice.
Okay, yeah.
In the middle did not get very buttery.
So there's one that's completed. We've decided to make these into the sausage and egg muffins. So we're going to cook up some eggs and some sausage and cheese. And I'm not going to cook up cheese, but we're going to put cheese on them. So they're Oliver doing the patties, sausage. After Sam's done with his English muffins, now he's doing a surprise. David's squashing the sausage patties. And over here, Simon is doing the eggs. He's going to put them in a muffin tin. And here's the finished product. And yes, it was delicious. If you liked this video, please subscribe. And until next time, stay rooted. Bye-bye.